Hey YouTubers, it's Robb Moffett. Guys, I want to do a review of these two watches. This is the Casio Illuminator and this is the Timex Easy Reader. This is the WR30M model of the Timex, and this is the 217H model of the Casio Illuminator. I made a video on the Timex a few years ago. I think it's one of the best inexpensive watches that's available on the market. You can buy these like for $25 on Amazon. I get them like $10 a use on eBay. The reason I purchased the Illuminator is because it's cheap, but I wanted something that would have an alarm that would go off every hour, and there's no alarm function at all on the Timex. So they're different watches. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Also, this is obviously an analog readout, and you've got digital here. So it's a comparison of apples and oranges a little bit, but we're comparing two inexpensive cheap watches, and I think they're two of the best cheap watches that are out there. So let's go over the functions and the specifications of each watch, and I'll give you my impression of each one. There's about 18 different things. First of all is the ability for you to read what time it is, which is kind of the main function of a watch. There's still nothing that beats the Easy Reader. You can see what time it is in a very dark room without turning on any light or using the Illuminate Indiglo function. If it's completely dark room, then you can turn on the Indiglo light and see what time it is. And it's still the best luminous technology of any watch, I think, out there. It's not focusing too well in the dark, is it? But at least you can see it's like 10 minutes before. Let's now try the Casio Illuminator. Got a nice Halloween thing going on there. I like it. The Casio, it's very difficult to see sometimes what time it is. If the room is a little bit dark or if you're in a shadow, it's hard. You've got a black background and kind of pale silvery. See, you can, there it is. There, now it's gone. There's So as a watch, if you want to see what time it is, sometimes it's a little bit aggravating. But it does have many other features. So how accurate are they? For keeping time? I think they are both about the same. They're both very accurate. I haven't had a big issue with. Obviously I'm not using them for navigating the seas, but I'm not using getting sights on the sun and need to know what time it is down to the second. But they're very accurate. What about the Casio? Has an alarm. This one doesn't. The Casio has days of the week: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. This one doesn't. The Casio has the days of the month. So does the Timex. However, trying to adjust the days of the week when it's off, because not all months are the same, is really frustrating. It's not worth doing. You just forget about it. It's there, but nobody uses it. It's terrible. The back of these, the Timex has a seal. You can take it off rather easily. It's not that difficult. There's like a little arrow here, and you can pry it open. Whereas the Casio uses little screws, and they're so much easier to take apart. Where the Casio shines is that the screws are so easy to get back in, where with the Timex, it's very difficult. I made a video on it, on how to press the back on. It's not that easy. However, the crystal is flat here. It's not too difficult, but it's a little bit of a headache. Where it's extremely easy to open this up and just put the battery in. Now, the bands, this one has a leather band. Even though I purchased this used and I don't take it off when I take a shower, which I should, it's still in very good condition. Considering this gets wet every single day, I'm living here in South Florida, a lot of humidity. This leather is really hang in there. I mean, this loop is starting to get a little bit of soft, and I'm worried about it's going to fall apart eventually. However, these soft plastic bands should last longer. However, I have had a plastic band that just popped off, broke where it was flexing, so you don't get any warning sometimes with the plastic bands. The two watches, the Timex has a little bit, I think, lower status than the Casio. If you're wearing a Timex, I think certain people would look down on you in certain situations, and maybe the Casio too. But I think the Timex has less of a status than the Casio for people who are into those type of things. The crystal, the Timex has a glass. This is plastic on the Casio. This should scratch a lot easier than the glass on the Timex. The price are, Timex is actually, I think, a little bit more expensive now. The Casio goes between $18 and $22. It hovers around there, where the Timex new goes between $25 and $30 some. But like I said, I get mine used on eBay for $10. The noise, if you can hear a noise coming from the Casio, there's something wrong with you, because there is no noise. You're hearing something else. Where there is a tick, if you hold it up to your ear, some people claim that they can hear it at night when they're sleeping and so on. My ears aren't that good. Noise has never been an issue, but it does make a clicking noise if you hold it up to your ears, which I think is kind of comforting in some ways. As far as the stylishness goes, I think that's personal preference. The Timex wins hand down. If you didn't know this was a Timex, if this had a different, more status name brand to the watch, this would look even better. But even though it's a Timex, it still has a very nice style to it. This is brass. It's not plated. It's got a good leather watch. Where this looks like every single digital watch ever sold at a gas station in the 1980s for $4. It's just although that's a personal thing. There's some people where this is a style that would be attractive to them. To me, it's not unattractive, but it's not something that you would you could wear this with a dress shirt. This kind of looks like you need a pocket protector in your pocket where you put your pens and pencils. So it's like I don't know. But there is different choices for different people, you know. Water resistant, the Casio wins again. It goes to 50 meters. The Timex is 30. The Casio instructions on their website is confusing, though, because it says it will go to 50 feet, but then it says do not use these diving or swimming. So when would you be going 50 feet if you were diving or swimming? Were you like, did they put your feet in a bucket of cement? I mean, what's happening? That you're not diving or swimming, but you're 150 feet below the surface. I don't understand what the but it'll go to 150 feet, but don't go diving or swimming, because I don't know. That's kind of I don't know if the Timex said the same thing, but theirs goes to 30 feet. I've been wearing this in the shower every single day, but I should take it off. That's not good for the watch. Both, I think, I know for sure the Casio is made in China, because it says, where the Timex doesn't say where it's made, which is unusual. I know it's an old American company out of Connecticut, but I'm almost positive it's probably made in China too. The Timex is kind of cool. It's got cell information on the back, so you know what battery it takes. It takes the 2016, the CR2016, where you can't know what the Casio takes until you open it up or look on the website. It's not a big deal. Of course, the Casio is digital and the Timex is analog. It's a compromise. They're both about the same weight. The Casio is more precise. If you're needing something for a medical or a lab or some other situation where you need to be more precise, the Casio is the one you want. Also, the Casio beats the Timex again because it has a function where you can have an alarm that will go off either like every hour or every so many hours or once a day. You can set when you want the alarm to go off, and it's easy to disable it. It also has a stopwatch function where you can start it and it'll record the amount of time that's passed in the minutes and seconds, where the Timex does not have that at all. So there's pluses and minuses, but I think the main things you want in a watch is, number one, is it easy to read? Whether Timex wins that. The second thing is, does it keep good time? I think they're both pretty good at that. The third thing would be the price. They're both pretty good. The fourth thing would be the stylish. I think the Timex wins on that. Now, in my case, I wanted an alarm. The Casio wins on that. And it should be easy to maintain and repair. The Casio is easily has a battery replaced easily by removing the back with the screws, where it's a little more difficult to replace the back after you've removed it on the Timex. The band can be replaced. However, I have not done it yet, but it's supposed to be easily replaced by just taking something like a small screwdriver and opening that part of the band, and you can pop it out. I'm assuming the same thing, but I'm assuming you can do the same thing on the Casio. If you're looking to get a watch, I recommend both of them highly. I don't see how you could go wrong with either one. Guys, if you're still watching, I really appreciate it. Been putting out new videos every single week. Been doing it for 14 years, Robb's Homemade Life. And y'all come back, watch more. Thanks. Thanks? One day I'll learn to speak English. We can all celebrate.